Dogs, man's best friend. Indeed, you all know this has ever been a dog-friendly establishment. I love dogs, me. Always happy to see you. Even now his flatulent lurcher Dolly. Here, leave off, she can't help it. Aye, but them port scratchings your slipper under the table probably don't help. Anyway, as I was saying, we're a nation of dog lovers. So is it any wonder that our furry friends loom large in the myths and lore of this green and pleasant isle? However, some of them ain't exactly what I'd describe as the most friendly of canines. Barghest, Grim, Padfoot, Shag, Striker, Guy Trash. I am of course talking about black dogs, and there are none more infamous than the Black Dog of Bungay, Black Shuck. Native to East Anglia, sightings and accounts of Black Shuck have been documented in the folklore of Norfolk, Suffolk, the Cambridgeshire Fens and Essex. The name Shuck derives from the Old English word skucker, meaning devil or fiend, and what a devil this beastie is. A far cry from your lovable family pooch. For it were described as a creature of immense size, with black shaggy fur and red burning eyes. Hey, I got all poetic there. Hashtag talented. Of course, as is typical of folklore, this is but one description of Black Shuck. Other accounts describe him as having one baleful eye, others that he appears with his paws turned backwards. Some even state that he has no eyes at all, or head for that matter, just a bleeding stump. All agree though that his presence and blood-curdling howl foretell but one thing: death. Of course, I know what you're all thinking. This is all a bit Arthur Conan Doyle and the Hound of the Baskervilles and all that. And I'd be inclined to agree, if it weren't for two separate incidents that occurred on a particularly stormy day in 1577. It was Sunday the 4th of August, and a large congregation was gathered at St Mary's Church in Bungay, Suffolk. There were a big clap of thunder, and seemingly out of thin air a great black hound materialised. The encounter was described by Abraham Fleming in his work A Strange and Terrible Wonder. It goes thus: This black dog, or the devil in such likeness, God he knoweth all, who worketh all, running all along down the body of the church with great swiftness and incredible haste, amongst people in a visible form and shape, passed between two persons as they were kneeling upon their knees and occupied in prayer. As it seemed, wrung the necks of them both, at one instant clean backwards, insomuch they even at that moment, where they kneeled, they strangely died. Makes me chuckle how Fleming says strangely died. Like having your head twisted 360 degrees ain't going to be terminal. The second incident occurred not 12 miles away, at the Holy Trinity Church in Blythburgh. Much like at St Mary's, Black Shuck's arrival was heralded by a great clap of thunder. It was said that the hellhound burst through the doors and began to wreak havoc on all assembled, killing a man and a boy, and then causing the church steeple to collapse through the roof. He then quickly disappeared through the church's northern door, leaving scorch marks that can still be seen to this day. So did any of this really happen? Well, we have written accounts and physical evidence. So, case closed, I guess. Well, no, not really. The supposed claw marks, known widely as the devil's fingerprints, on closer inspection are quite clearly consistent with candle burns, more than likely the result of some forgotten accident. But what of the church steeple collapsing? Well, all records agree that on that day in 1577, that across the county a great storm was raging. Likelihood is the church steeple was struck by lightning and brought low. But there's still the account of Fleming to consider. What reason would a learned man such as him have to tell tall tales? Well, we must consider the time in which he lived. Anxiety over the Reformation was something felt by many. Only 7 years prior to the publication of Fleming's pamphlet, A Strange and Terrible Wonder, Queen Elizabeth Tudor had been excommunicated by Pope Pius V, an act that would have cast doubt on Protestant legitimacy. Fleming himself were a staunch Protestant. So, could it be that his pamphlet was in fact a kind of propaganda? Did Fleming draw upon an old folk legend in an attempt to strike fear into the hearts of those who would waver from the Protestant faith? I'm no scholar, so I couldn't say, but fake news certainly ain't a new invention. Regardless, the legend of Black Shuck is one that to this day still has the power to captivate. Right, as usual, our special a quid, jukebox and pool table free till closing. Nally, take Dolly for a walk, will you? She's letting off a right pong. Thanks for coming. Have a good 'un.